Have you ever felt a strange sense of peace in silence, a profound comfort in the stillness that others might label as loneliness? Do you find that while you can navigate the world of social gatherings and bustling crowds, your soul truly recharges and comes alive when you are by yourself? This feeling, this preference for solitude, is not a social deficiency or a sign of being broken. It is a powerful, resonant indicator of a much deeper truth about who you are and why you are here, a defining characteristic of those who walk a path less traveled, the path of the chosen one. From a young age, you may have felt like an observer standing just outside the circle. While others bonded over shared trivialities and fleeting trends, you felt a disconnect, a sense of watching a play you weren't fully a part of. The conversations often felt shallow, a script of social niceties that your soul refused to learn. You yearned for depth, for conversations about the universe, about purpose, about the very fabric of existence, but you often found yourself met with blank stares or polite dismissal. This created a chasm, not of your own making, but born from a fundamental difference in vibrational frequency. This persistent feeling of being different can lead to a profound sense of isolation, even when surrounded by people. You might have tried to fit in, to wear the masks that society offers, to laugh at the jokes you didn't find funny, and to feign interest in topics that felt like static to your spirit. But each attempt left you feeling more drained, more inauthentic, and more alone than if you had simply been by yourself. This exhaustion is not a sign of social anxiety. It is soul fatigue, the result of trying to power down your high-wattage spirit to fit into a low-wattage world. The world often misinterprets this need for solitude as arrogance, shyness, or sadness. Family and friends might worry, pushing you to be more social, to put yourself out there, not understanding that out there feels like a foreign land, while in here, within your own sacred space, is where you feel most at home. They don't realize that your solitude is a sanctuary, not a prison. It is a deliberate choice made by your higher self, a necessary condition for the unique and vital work you are here to do, even if you are not yet fully aware of what that work is. What if this pull towards being alone is not a flaw to be corrected, but a gift to be embraced? What if your solitude is not an escape from the world, but a deep dive into the universe that resides within you? This is the great revelation for the chosen one. Your preference for being alone is a divine design, a sacred calling to step away from the noise of the collective, so you can clearly hear the subtle, profound whispers of your own soul, your guides, and the source of all creation. It is in the quiet that your true power is cultivated and your path is illuminated. Your solitude is a sacred chamber of energetic recalibration. As a person with heightened sensitivity, you are like an intricate energetic instrument. You don't just hear words, you feel the intentions behind them. You don't just see actions, you perceive the energetic ripples they create. In a crowd, you are bombarded with a chaotic symphony of energies: fear, joy, anxiety, anger, hope. This is incredibly overwhelming and draining. Being alone allows you to cleanse your auric field, to release the energies that are not yours, and to return to your own unique, pristine vibrational signature. It's not about being antisocial, it's about essential spiritual hygiene. The quiet of your solitude is the optimal environment for receiving what many call divine downloads. These are flashes of insight, profound wisdom, creative ideas, and direct guidance from your higher self or spirit team. The universe is constantly communicating with you, but its language is not loud and demanding. It is subtle, like a gentle breeze, or the feeling of knowing something without knowing how you know. In the constant noise of daily life and social interaction, these divine messages are easily missed, drowned out by the static. Your soul instinctively knows that it needs silence to tune into this higher frequency and receive the blueprints for your mission. Stepping away from the crowd is a crucial part of a deprogramming process. From birth, we are programmed by society, culture, family, and education with a set of limiting beliefs about who we are and what is possible. The chosen one's path involves transcending this programming and remembering the infinite truth of their soul. This cannot be done while constantly immersed in the very systems and energies that perpetuate the illusion. Solitude provides the space to question everything, to dismantle false identities, and to disconnect from the collective hive mind, allowing your own sovereign truth to emerge from the ashes of old beliefs. Your time alone is a training ground. The challenges you face, the emotions you process, and the truths you uncover in solitude are not just for you. You are an energetic pioneer, a spiritual pathfinder. You are healing and transmuting not only your own karma and trauma, but also the ancestral and collective wounds you carry in your DNA. This deep inner work is incredibly demanding and requires immense focus and energy. It is the spiritual equivalent of an athlete training in seclusion for the Olympics. You are strengthening your spiritual muscles, building your energetic resilience, and preparing for a mission that will ultimately serve the greater good. The chosen ones often have a vibrational frequency that is significantly different from the majority of the population. This is not about being better or worse, but simply different, like a radio tuned to 107.9 FM in a world that mostly listens to 92.3 FM. When you interact with those on a vastly different frequency, it can feel dissonant and jarring for both parties. It requires you to constantly lower your vibration to meet them, which is deeply depleting. In solitude, you can exist in your natural, high-frequency state, a state of peace, clarity, and connection that is your birthright. Nature becomes your truest community. You may find that you feel more connected, more understood, and more at peace in a forest, by the ocean, or under a sky full of stars than in a room full of people. This is because nature communicates on a purely energetic level, a language your soul speaks fluently. The trees, the animals, the elements, they do not judge, they do not project, they simply are. They hold a pure, grounding, and healing frequency. Your solitude is often an invitation to deepen this sacred connection, to learn from the ancient wisdom of the earth, and to remember that you are a part of this living, breathing consciousness. Solitude is the womb of creativity and inspiration. Many of the world's greatest artists, inventors, poets, and visionaries were people who cherished their time alone. The creative force of the universe flows most powerfully in the absence of distraction. When you are alone, your mind is free to wander, to connect disparate ideas, and to receive inspiration from the higher realms. Your mission may involve bringing forth a new idea, a piece of art, a healing modality, or a new way of being. Your solitude is the fertile soil where the seeds of these divine creations can be planted, nurtured, and allowed to grow. You are learning to master your own inner world. The external world is a reflection of the collective inner world, and for a chosen one, the primary work is internal. In solitude, you are forced to confront every aspect of yourself, your light and your shadow, your fears and your deepest desires, your wounds and your greatest strengths. While others may seek constant distraction to avoid this inner confrontation, you are drawn to it. You instinctively know that you cannot guide others through the darkness if you have not navigated your own. Your solitude is your laboratory for self-realization and self-mastery. The need for solitude is also a powerful protective mechanism. Because you carry a bright light, you can, unfortunately, attract energetic parasites or individuals who seek to drain your energy, consciously or unconsciously. Your empathic nature makes you vulnerable to manipulation and the emotional baggage of others. Your spirit guide system often orchestrates periods of solitude to keep you safe, to create a protective bubble around you while you are undergoing significant upgrades or are in a particularly sensitive phase of your journey. It is a loving act of divine protection, ensuring your energy is preserved for your true purpose. You are cultivating a state of non-attachment. The spiritual path involves understanding that true peace and freedom come from non-attachment to external outcomes, opinions, and validations. Constant social interaction can strengthen the ego's need for approval and belonging. Solitude teaches you to find your validation from within, to anchor your sense of self-worth in your connection to Source, not in the fleeting opinions of others. You learn that your wholeness is not dependent on having a partner, a large group of friends, or social status. You are complete and whole right here, right now, by yourself. In the quiet, you can finally hear the subtle voice of your own soul. The soul speaks in whispers, in failings, in intuition, and in synchronicities. The ego, on the other hand, shouts. It is the voice of fear, of doubt, of societal conditioning. In the hustle and bustle of life, the ego's voice is often the only one we can hear. Solitude creates the space necessary to quiet the mind, to calm the chattering ego, and to tune into the gentle, loving, and infinitely wise guidance of your soul. This is how you learn to trust yourself implicitly and to navigate your life from a place of authentic inner knowing. Your preference for being alone is also a sign that you are healing deep-seated patterns of codependency. Many spiritually sensitive people are conditioned to be people pleasers, to put the needs of others before their own, and to derive their worth from being needed. This is an energetic drain that can completely derail your mission. Solitude forces you to be with yourself, to nurture yourself, to reparent your inner child, and to learn that you are your own greatest source of love and support. This builds a foundation of profound self-love that allows you to interact with others from a place of wholeness, not neediness. Your physical body requires more rest and different conditions to integrate the high-frequency energies you are embodying. Spiritual awakening and the process of choosing is a physical experience. It involves cellular upgrades, DNA activation, and the recalibration of your entire nervous system. This process can be intense and requires a huge amount of energy. Socializing can be overstimulating and can interfere with this delicate process. The desire for solitude is often your body's wisdom telling you that it needs rest and quiet to properly integrate these powerful energetic shifts and upgrades. You are an observer of the human condition. Part of your role is to understand the matrix of human consciousness from a higher perspective, without getting entangled in its dramas. Solitude gives you a vantage point, a balcony from which you can observe the patterns, the beliefs, and the behaviors of the collective. This is not a position of judgment, but one of compassionate detachment. It allows you to gain the wisdom and understanding necessary to help others awaken when the time is right, without getting lost in their stories or taking on their karma as your own. You learn to be in the world, but not of it. Your energy is a precious resource that is meant for a specific purpose. Imagine your daily energy as a pitcher of water. Every superficial conversation, every forced interaction, every moment spent in a low vibrational environment is like pouring a little bit of that water onto the ground. It's wasted. Your soul knows that this water, your life force energy, is needed to irrigate the garden of your divine mission. It instinctively guides you towards solitude to conserve this precious resource, so you can pour it into the things that truly matter: your healing, your creativity, your learning, and your service to the world. In solitude, you are actively working in other dimensions. Your consciousness is not limited to this physical reality. When your physical body is at rest and your mind is quiet, your spirit is free to travel, learn, and work in the higher realms. You may be meeting with your spirit guides, attending classes in sleep state, or participating in energetic grid work to help anchor light onto the planet. You may not have a conscious memory of these activities, but your soul's preference for solitude is partly driven by the need for the physical vessel to be still, so this important multidimensional work can be accomplished without interruption. You are breaking generational curses and patterns. Chosen ones are often the ones in a family lineage who have volunteered on a soul level to be the pattern breaker. You are here to heal the ancestral trauma, the limiting beliefs, and the negative karmic cycles that have been passed down for generations. This is a monumental task that requires you to separate yourself from the very family dynamics and energetic systems you are here to change. Solitude provides the necessary energetic and emotional distance to see the patterns clearly and to choose a different path, healing both your ancestors and your descendants in the process. You find a deeper, more profound form of connection in solitude. This may sound paradoxical, but it is a core truth for the chosen one. In the absence of human chatter, you begin to feel your connection to everything, the collective consciousness, the consciousness of the planet, your star family, and the divine source itself. You realize that you are never truly alone. The feeling of separation, which is the root of loneliness, is an illusion of the ego and the physical senses. Solitude is the gateway to experiencing the profound, unshakable truth of universal oneness. Your path requires a level of unwavering faith and trust in the unseen. This faith is not built in the presence of others' doubts and fears. It is forged in the crucible of your own solitude, where you have nothing to rely on but your own inner guidance and your connection to the divine. When you choose to spend time alone, you are repeatedly choosing to trust that you are being guided, even when you can't see the full path ahead. Each moment of peaceful solitude strengthens this muscle of faith, preparing you for the great leaps of faith you will be required to take to fulfill your mission. The solitude you experience is a mirror to the solitude of Source itself. The universe began from a single point of unified consciousness. Before the explosion of creation, there was a state of perfect, solitary wholeness. Your soul remembers this state. Your desire for solitude is a deep, primal yearning to return to that state of pure being, to connect with the God spark within you that is a fractal of that original, solitary, all-encompassing consciousness. It is a form of meditation, emerging with the ultimate reality, where you remember that you are both the drop and the entire ocean. You are learning to be your own best friend, your own lover, and your own guide. The ultimate relationship is the one you have with yourself, which is a reflection of your relationship with the divine. The world teaches us to seek completion in others, but the path of the chosen one is the path of inner completion. Solitude is the space where this sacred inner relationship is nurtured. You learn to listen to your body, to honor your emotions, to celebrate your own company, and to love yourself unconditionally. This creates an unshakable foundation that no external event or person can ever destroy. Your senses are more refined and sensitive than those of the average person. This is not just about emotional or energetic sensitivity, but can also manifest physically. You might be sensitive to loud noises, bright lights, strong smells, or chaotic environments. These are not weaknesses, they are signs of a highly tuned nervous system, an instrument capable of perceiving subtle frequencies. Social environments are often a massive sensory overload. The preference for solitude is a natural and intelligent response of your body-mind system, seeking an environment that is harmonious with its delicate, refined nature. In solitude, you are accessing the Akashic records, the energetic library of all that has ever been, is, and could be. This access is not always a conscious, deliberate process. Often, in your quiet moments of reflection, meditation, or even daydreaming, your consciousness is tapping into this vast field of information. You might receive insights about past lives, understanding about current challenges, or glimpses of future potentials. This is why you can have profound epiphanies while doing something as simple as washing the dishes or staring out a window. Your solitude is your library card to the universe's infinite wisdom. You are holding a frequency that is essential for the planet's ascension. Not everyone is meant to be on the front lines, leading marches or speaking to large crowds. Some of the most powerful work is done in quiet contemplation. The chosen ones who embrace their solitude are like energetic anchor points. In your quiet, meditative states, you are anchoring high-frequency light and love into the Earth's crystalline grid. You are holding a space of peace and stability for the entire collective. Your solitude is not a passive state, it is an active form of energetic service of the highest order. You are being prepared to lead in a new way. The old paradigm of leadership was based on hierarchy, control, and outward authority. The new paradigm of leadership is based on energetic resonance, authenticity, and embodied wisdom. This kind of leadership doesn't require a stage or a title. It is about simply being who you are, so fully and authentically that your very presence gives others permission to be themselves. The deep self-knowledge, integrity, and energetic clarity you cultivate in your solitude are the exact qualities that will make you a magnetic and effective leader in this new era. To fully integrate this understanding, you must begin to consciously reframe your solitude. When the old feelings of loneliness or societal pressure arise, gently remind yourself of the truth. Say to yourself, I am not lonely, I am in sacred communion with my soul, or my solitude is my strength, it is where I recharge my light. Transform the narrative from one of lack to one of empowerment. See your time alone not as something you have to endure, but as a precious gift you give to yourself, a vital appointment with the universe that you refuse to miss. Create a sacred space in your home that is dedicated to your solitude. It doesn't need to be large or elaborate. A comfortable chair in a quiet corner, a small altar with a candle, a crystal, or a meaningful object will suffice. This physical space acts as an energetic anchor, a signal to your mind and spirit that when you are here, you are entering a protected, sacred state of being. Make it a place where you feel completely at ease, where you can meditate, journal, read, or simply be, without interruption. This honors your need for solitude and makes it a deliberate, beautiful practice. Embrace practices that deepen your inner connection during your alone time. Instead of passively consuming media to fill the silence, engage in activities that foster soul communication. Journaling is a powerful tool to converse with your higher self. Automatic writing can allow guidance to flow through you. Meditation in all its forms stills the mind and opens the channels to the divine. Spend time in nature without your phone, simply observing and listening. These practices turn your solitude from an empty space into a rich, full, and deeply nourishing experience. Learn the art of setting healthy, energetic boundaries with others. This is crucial for preserving your peace and your energy. It means learning to say no without guilt to invitations that don't feel aligned. It means limiting your time in draining environments or with draining people. It's about understanding that you don't owe anyone an explanation for your need for solitude. A simple "thank you for the invitation, but I won't be able to make it" is enough. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is a prerequisite for fulfilling your purpose. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you do choose to socialize, do so with intention. Instead of accepting every invitation, become more discerning about where you invest your precious energy. Seek out a soul tribe, other individuals who vibrate on a similar frequency, who appreciate depth, and who leave you feeling energized and inspired rather than depleted. Meaningful one-on-one conversations or small group gatherings with kindred spirits can be just as nourishing as solitude. The key is quality over quantity. Your alone time helps you clarify what kind of connection you truly desire. Use your solitude to consciously work with energy. Learn the basics of grounding, centering, and shielding. Before you go out, visualize a bubble of protective light around you. When you return home, have a ritual to cleanse your energy, such as taking a salt bath, smudging with sage, or simply visualizing a waterfall of light washing over you, carrying away any debris you may have picked up. By actively managing your own energy, you become less susceptible to the chaotic frequencies of the outside world, making your necessary forays into it much more manageable and less draining. Embrace the joy of your own company. Society often portrays being alone as a state of sadness or waiting. Reclaim it as a state of celebration. Take yourself on dates. Cook a beautiful meal just for yourself. Dance in your living room. Discover what brings you joy when no one else is watching. The more you fall in love with the person you are when you're alone, the less you will rely on external validation, and the more magnetic your authentic energy will become. True self-love cultivated in solitude is the ultimate superpower. Trust the rhythm of your own soul. There will be seasons where you are called into deep solitude, like a hermit in a cave, and there will be seasons where you are called to emerge and share your light more actively with the world. There is no right or wrong way to be. Release any judgment you have about your own social patterns. Your soul knows exactly what it needs for its growth and its mission. Your job is not to force yourself to be more outgoing or more reclusive, but to listen to your inner guidance and honor its ever-changing, perfect rhythm. The path forward for you, the one who finds solace in stillness, is to fully and unapologetically embrace your nature. Your solitude is not an escape from life. It is your unique way of engaging with it on the deepest level possible. It is the soil from which the seeds of your purpose will sprout. It is the silent monastery where your spirit is honed, your wisdom is deepened, and your light is polished. Do not let a world that fears silence convince you that your sacred space is empty. It is not empty, it is full of the entire universe, waiting to be discovered by you. You are a lighthouse. Remember that a lighthouse must stand alone on the shore, strong in its own foundation, to be of service. It does not run down to the beach to save each ship. It stands firm, shines its light, and trusts that those who are ready will find their way by its guidance. Your solitude is you standing on your rock, tending to your inner flame. The light you cultivate in the quiet will radiate out into the world in ways you cannot even imagine, offering guidance, hope, and permission for others to find their own light too. Your path is perfect. Your solitude is sacred. You are exactly where you need to be.